Good morning and welcome to another edition of Get Real with Real Estate. Jameson Melbye with RE/MAX Results, joining yours truly, Action Jack Colwell here on KWNG 106. You know, Jameson, about a week ago, we're playing Beanbag, and that was the KWNG Beanbag tournament.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was an interesting tournament. I think for you guys it was an O2 barbecue, but
We were shellacked.
yeah.
Let me tell you what.
It happens.
In over our heads.
Yeah, you run into some of those power teams, that's for sure. But you know, you've recovered sufficiently to do the show with me today.
I was depressed a couple days, but we made it. So.
You're able to get over it, so
Yeah.
that's always a good thing. And so on today's show, this is interesting now, folks. I think for a lot of folks who might be interested in investing, this is your show. It's the Real Estate Investors Show. And Jameson, I want to get right to it.
Sounds good.
I'm certainly interested in the topic we're going to cover today and what type of real estate investments are available at this time.
This microphone's getting crazy. Okay, so real estate investments. The two that I've dealt with have been flipping and owning rental properties for the long term.
Yeah.
So both have advantages and disadvantages, and we'll get into that further in the show.
I have seen some of those shows, those reality shows or whatever, those real estate shows. You know, what is better, to flip something or to rent a property? What have you seen? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the thing is, I really wouldn't say one is better than the other, but it's what are your goals? Do you want to have now money, or do you want to have long-term money where you can, pass this property on to your kids, things like that. So the two really, flipping is where you're just buying a house that's in need of repair, make the repairs, put it on the market, sell it. And then you get the cash from your equity there. So the other, renting, is you're buying a house now looking at making a monthly return on your investment each month. It's not going to be as large as a flip, but then somebody else is paying off that house for you, which is a great deal.
It's more of a long-term type of thing, obviously.
Definitely.
There.
Definitely.
Okay. When it comes to other real estate investments and you're pondering that first investment, how can you buy that first investment property? What are some tips you might have for prospective investors?
Okay, so we've talked before about the USDA zero down loan. That would not work for buying your first investment property. The best one would be an FHA. So FHA allows you to buy up to 4 units for your first house. So you have a 3.5% down payment, and you could buy a duplex, triplex, fourplex. So the way that works, a fourplex has 4 apartments in it. So you would live in one apartment and rent out the other 3. If you have a duplex, 1 apartment you live in, you rent out the other apartment, you have to own or occupy for at least the first year with an FHA. And the beautiful thing is, if you have a duplex and you're renting, chances are that other apartment is going to make your mortgage payment. You're now living free and clear. So that gives you the opportunity to save money, take that mortgage you would have been paying, put that in a savings account, because the second investment property you buy, you now need 20% down. So then you can save that 20%, buy more rental properties.
Good stuff there. Yeah, I was kind of interested in that because I do know that that's a pretty popular deal. I see that whenever I go on to real estate websites where they'll have a duplex, and a lot of times they will mention exactly what you said. You know, you can live in the one half, somebody else can rent the other half, and you're looking good.
Yeah, it's a great deal.
All right. And one more item here before we close out the first half of our show. This is the Real Estate Investors Show today on Get Real with Real Estate. Jameson Melbye, RE/MAX Results, joining yours truly, Action Jack Colwell. What kind of money could you make owning a rental property?
Yeah, well, people want to know what they make. That's good. The thing is, if you're buying, let's say you're buying a duplex for that first property, your payment, depending on what the sale price is, you're going to be looking at, let's say for the average duplex, a $600 a month payment. So you're living in one half for $600. You can rent out the other half for $600. So the beautiful thing about that is that's money that just goes right to you. That's yours. If you buy a single family investment property, let's say you already live in a house and you don't want a duplex, you just want to buy a house you can sell quick. If you decide to, then you'd want to buy a single family home. You buy a single family home, let's say your payment is $600, you're going to be able to rent that house in this market for $900, $1,000. So you can be clearing $300 to $400 a month on that property. And like I said, let's not forget about the fact that somebody else is paying off principal for you along the way. So if you hold this property for 20 years, 30 years, somebody else is paying off that property for you. So why would you not want to buy investment properties? And in my case, my age, we're not sure if Social Security will be there down the road. So I always suggest
Even
that,
at my age.
yeah, well, hopefully it's there. But I suggest having 2 or 3 rental properties paid off by the time you retire.
All right, good stuff. Great advice there. Let's take
Yeah.
a quick break, shall we? And we'll be right back.
Sounds good. Part
This,
2.
yes, the real estate investment show here. Get real with real estate. Jameson Melbye joining yours truly, Action Jack, here on KWNG 106. We're back in just a moment. Stay with us. More good stuff to come.
Sounds good.
Part 2, get real with real estate. Jameson Melbye, Remax Results, joining us on the show today. I'm Jack Colwell here on KWNG 106 on this Saturday. It's part 2 of the Real Estate Investor Show. Jameson, we've covered a number of topics. Let's resume, shall we?
Sounds good.
All right, here it is. You've made the decision. You've bought a rental property, but what is really better? We touched upon it just a bit in the first half, a traditional home or a duplex.
Yeah. What I like to ask people is, what is your primary goal in owning this rental property? Do you want to hold it for the long term? Are you confident you want to hold it for the long term? Or are you uncertain about that? So the thing is, buying a single family house, if you decide in 2 years and 5 years you don't like being a landlord, it'll be much easier to sell that house because it appeals to more people. Versus if you buy a duplex, triplex, you're really only appealing to investors at that point, which sometimes, depending on the market, they might take longer to sell than a traditional home. So again, like I said, it depends on what your goal is. Some investors I've worked with, they only want to own it for 2-3 years, build some equity, sell the house. It's kind of like a longer term flip in that sense. But I have investors too that they say, hey, I want to buy all of the duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes I possibly can, and I'm never going to sell these. I'm going to let them pay themselves off. I'll have great passive income when I'm older, and then I can leave these properties to my kids. So again, it all comes down to what your goal is.
You know, I'm thinking in my case, I'd say for about the first 30 years of my life, I was in either an apartment or a duplex or a fourplex.
Yeah.
So it was just our family situation. I think I can only remember being in an actual home for about 5 of my first 30 years, and ever since then, my wife and I, we've been homeowners. So, and you know, you hear things about landlords, good things, bad things, but as a landlord, how much money can you make? I guess it's, you know, kind of a tricky question there too.
Right. Yeah, landlords come in all shapes and sizes. So do you want to, is your goal in buying a rental property just to make enough cash flow to make your brand new car payment? Some people, that's their goal. They want to buy 1 or 2 properties so they can have some fun with it. Then there's other people that they don't want to have to work. They want, you know, being a landlord to be their primary source of income. Some people, like I said, are looking at it kind of like an investment that is going to mature. So in 20, 30 years, these are paid off, now we can live on them. So there's one illustration I talk to people about. It's really quick, really easy. The easiest way to make $1 million is buy 10 single-family properties that are worth $100,000. So yes, you have to have a down payment. Yes, you have to manage these properties, okay? But you buy 10 properties, and let's say you do it over a 5-year time span. Buy 2 houses a year. For 5 years, you now own 10. After 30 years, somebody else has paid those properties off for you. You just had to manage them, collect rent, things like that. You now have $1 million worth of real estate in today's value. But as you know, with real estate, in 30 years, that might double or triple in value at that point. So now you're holding on to $2 million or $3 million worth of real estate you own free and clear. Then your decision is, do you want to keep that $30,000 coming in a month free and clear cash flow from the rent, or do you want to refinance tax-free, pull out 80% of the value? Now you have several $1 million sitting in your checking account the IRS doesn't have any access to, and again, you can leave those properties to your children. They can still continue to get that equity, get that monthly rent for the rest of their lives. So really, it's up to yourself and your goals and what you want to achieve.
Moms and dads, grandmas and grandpas, I can see their ears, I can see the antenna going up right now. This is a great segue because you mentioned the IRS. Are there tax benefits to investing in real estate?
There definitely are tax benefits. It's one of those good questions where we always need to defer you to a tax advisor for your actual tax advice. But that being said, there are things called write-offs. So let's say you're buying a skill saw, you're buying hammers, drills, things like that. Well, you have to maintain your rental properties. So I'm not going to get into a great amount of detail. I don't want to put myself out there, but talk to your CPA about the tax benefits of owning rental properties, because like I said, you're buying things to fix on your rental properties that you're going to use in your home. So why not have those being deductions for you?
There
so
you
really
go.
good tax benefits aside from the credits and things like that. But yeah, talk to your tax advisor. They'll tell you it's a good thing.
All right, there. And as we talk more about investments here, the Real Estate Investment Show, what's a better investment? Got kind of a three-pronged, A, B, or C, door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3, an IRA, an annuity, or rental property.
Well, here's the deal. I have many friends that are financial advisors, so I'm not going to step on their toes and say that one is better than the other. The best thing is whatever you will invest in is what the best investment really is. Investing in IRAs and annuities are much easier than investing in rental property, because you find a good financial advisor, set up a withdrawal plan into that, give them money, however you want to set that up with them, and it just goes into that account, it gains interest, and it's a good investment. I mean, those are great investments, and if you are looking for people that do that, I have some friends that are really great at what they do I can refer you to. Rental properties are more hands-on than your annuity or your IRA. I'll tell you that. I think that in the long run, I would choose real estate as my investment strategy. That being said, I have money going into an IRA, and I plan on having annuities. So I think that having a diverse portfolio is great. If you're okay with the hands-on and the gains like that, then definitely look at rental properties. If you just want a more passive, very easy investment, then go with IRA or annuity.
You know what I'm thinking about it? Well, our President of the United States, I mean, he shot to superstardom through real estate, when you think about it.
He did.
Yeah, that's for sure. So,
Politicians, a lot of them have a lot of their primary wealth is from real estate investments.
yeah, absolutely. Final question here on today's show, Jameson. It's a good realtor to buy an investment property from.
This guy.
Yes, I was
This
gonna
guy is a
thinking,
really
yes,
good
yes.
person to buy investment properties from. During the recession, there were some clients and we had a blast going out and finding good deals on properties. They flipped them, made good money. I've had several investors that, and that's what I like about investors, is that they can be buying single family, multifamily, flipping, holding. Really, I've seen people make money many different ways doing this. I've seen people make money wholesaling, where they don't even fix the property. So if you want somebody with experience, somebody who's represented a lot of investors, I'm definitely that person.
Excellent. All right, before we say adios on today's show, give us your contact information.
Contact info. So you can find me on the web at melbyrealestateexperts.com. Great website to search houses, find your home's value. We record this live Thursday mornings on Facebook. It airs KWNG Saturday mornings. You can find me on Facebook. RE/MAX Results, Jameson Melbye Real Estate. I'm on there. And my cell phone number is 651-764-8933.
Very good, Jameson. Hey, you have a great week. We'll be in touch with you again next week for another edition of the show.
Sounds good.
All right, that's a wrap for this week's edition of Get Real with Real Estate. Jameson Melbye from RE/MAX Results. I'm Jack Colwell saying so long. Have a great weekend, folks.
You too.